Hello and welcome back to the Cozy Arts. I am Cherish and I have a big announcement. Very big announcement. And that is Birdzillas! I made Birdzillas. I made a pattern for a big snuggly bird. Snuggle, snuggle, snuggle. So if you want to make a big bird for yourself that you can keep on your couch, keep in your bed, just make it your comfort bird. I got you. Just head to my Etsy store, the link is in the description, and you can make your own bird. Alright, now let's go into the Birdzilla history of it. I've been wanting to make a pattern for Birdzillas pretty much my whole bird pattern making journey, and the main thing that I was tripping up is the same thing that trips me up for every bird pattern, and that is the legs. The legs are, I admit, not ideal when you are bending them out of wire. It's not the right leg, it's just the leg, the accessible leg. So the wire bending legs, they work because the legs are not the point. In a perfect world, you would probably be doing some metalworking and making your own. One of my last big Michael's shops, I think, I saw some really thick gauge wire, and so I thought, ooh, maybe I can do a Birdzilla after all. So I carded it and I bought it. As I have mentioned in other videos, I have multiple chemical sensitivity, and while that means that as long as I stay within the realms of things that I can do anything. I'm very healthy, but the list is pretty short. And one of the things that I cannot do is I can't just go to Michael's. I can't go shopping in person. Even with a respirator, craft stores are exceptionally stinky. So that is off of the list. So this wire came, I was already pumped to make a Birdzilla, and it was really soft. It was like an armature wire. It wasn't ever going to hold up a big old bird. So can I make a Birdzilla pattern? She says, holding the Birdzilla. I want to have mini, regular, mega, as my kid calls it, mega bird, and can't get the legs right. Then I thought, you know what? It's gonna be like a giant stuffy. So what if I leaned into the giant stuffiness of it and I added legs, like soft legs, so I can make them out of fabric or I could crochet them, and that way it would be a stuffy and it would be super cute. So I started making my pattern. I only have one Birdzilla in my collection, and that is this guy from Lowe's, 2021? It's been a long time. I have checked every year since, and I have not seen Lowe's offer any more giant birds. And this guy, yeah, he is a little funny looking. You should have seen him when he first came, because mine was assembled wrong and they put the eyes right up here. So I had to peel the eyes off and make my partner glue them down, because this is not where a bird's eyes go. They gave me a predator bird and I want a prey bird. The way I make patterns is probably a little chaotic. When you start crocheting, you can sort of start to see the math of it all. It's a lot of magic and art, so not strictly math when I do it. So I started by ripping off the hat, which it's glued back on, so I'm not gonna rip it off now. I ripped off the hat so I could get a good look at the shape of the bird, and this bird is a little more rectangular. It's not quite the triangular shape that the target birds are, and it's also really tall. So my first couple of attempts, I'm trying to mimic the shape of this Lowe's Birdzilla, and I really wanted to be able to show you just the awfulness of this bird, which once I pulled it out, I'm like, okay, that's not as bad as I remembered, but it's definitely not good. I clearly didn't fully finish this bird. So okay, it's just not gonna work. I don't want to cuddle this. So then I gave myself permission to let go of matching a shape, to not try and make a Birdzilla bird, but instead just to make a larger version of the shape that we all know and love with our little target birds, just bigger and cuddlier. And you know, if that means just making things up, that means just making things up. So my attempt, bird number 3, I didn't do a face because this is really just testing the shape of the bird. So she turned out really cute. And I was testing the soft legs, like, can we just add soft legs? Which, when you're holding the bird like this, they're okay. They're a little silly, but they're okay. But birds, you're never gonna walk around holding your bird like this. Like, you're gonna be holding it, it's gonna be sitting on things. The bird, the legs were just, they're too silly for me. They're too ridiculous. And they might impact the way that you want to assemble your bird. And we can't have that. We can't have these weird legs getting in the way, because birds, when they're sitting, they sit on top of their legs. They don't kick their legs out because their legs will get cold and they need to be able to hold on to a branch. So, very early version of this pattern had legs. But, you know, I'm a big fan of identifying things that are holding you back and just getting rid of them, going around the hurdle. And the legs were a hurdle, so we skipped it. This is the first and the last bird with soft legs. Now we're moving on from soft legs. If you want to make a hard leg version, if you have access to welding supplies, then go ahead and maybe start a business supplying bird legs, because that would be really helpful. I haven't welded since 8th grade metal shop, and I don't have the access to the materials or the space to do it, and I'm pretty sure that it would make me sick. So I can't be your bird leg dealer. But good news is, this is my next bird. This is my next bird, and it's so cute. I don't know why this bird ended up so much smaller than the others, but I made this one with cornflower blue. I like to call him Bachelor Buttons. I started experimenting with the face. So we have a face here, and of course the hard line on the bottom of the face I'm not a big fan of. I am a very big fan of putting things on the bottom, especially bow ties. So Bachelor Buttons has a little bow tie, and I didn't try too hard with the wings or the tail here, because I'm still working on nailing the shape. So we have Bachelor Buttons. And the problem with Bachelor Buttons, I don't know if you can see this, but Bachelor Buttons started to go a little bit crooked. And also, for my previous birds, the tail little flap that I make so that you can sew your tail down came at the tip of the bird, like just before you started decreasing the whole thing. But for this big bird, it just didn't make any sense. It doesn't look good. So then I made this little Hawaiian punch type bird. So my main goal with this bird was to go through the pattern, make sure it's fixed up. I did a lot of the math for this bird. What I do for the math is when I'm making the pattern and I'm doing the stitch count, I'm counting the increases and decreases and changing my stitch count based on that. And then I did a lot of the double checking when it came to this bird. And when I do the double checking, then I'm going through the round and I am adding up the stitch counts. And I do that 2 ways. I start by adding up the stitch count based on the stitches they use. So increases I count as 1, decreases I count as 2. And then I'm gonna make sure that that matches the previous line's stitch count. And if it doesn't, then we gotta do some work and figure out where we went wrong. And then once I'm done with that, then I count up how many stitches are left, what is the stitch count, and in that one, then increases are 2 and decreases are 1. So I do the math twice for each line to make sure that things line up between each line. So this bird is my math bird, where I did a lot of that math and I figured things out. And the other thing that I did is I wanted to make sure that I was moving the tail up and straightening out the bird so that it doesn't go wonky, because I want it nice and straight and even as possible. This is the bird where I nailed down what the pattern should be. Next comes the proof of the pattern bird, when I've got to do it again and make sure that I can do the same exact pattern and have it turn out the same exact way with no having to go through and fix things. So after this bird came this bird. And here I am starting to also finalize what the pattern pieces are going to be. So we've got our little bow, and I've given her a face and belly, but I didn't do the bottom because I wasn't quite sure how to accomplish that. I didn't have enough fully done birds to really figure that out. It was a work in progress, but we're starting to get there. So this pattern has a lot of pieces and it has a lot of piece options. So if you see this wing is a woven material, this is a quilter's cotton, whereas we're using blizzard fleece and lots of felt. This is felt. So because this is something that you can cuddle with and sleep with, you want it to be able to go through the wash from time to time. So ideally blizzard fleece, or you can do quilter's cotton, because in my pattern pieces, most of the pieces are no seam allowance. So if you really want to do a quilter's cotton, you're going to have to add the seam allowance yourself. But we have a seam allowance version for the wings. So you can do what I did here, and you can just sew it and turn it and have a lovely little wing, and I did a top stitch along that to get it down. One thing about using a woven fabric like a quilter's cotton is that, number one, it frays. You have to do the added step of turning it inside out. As you can see, it's so cute. I love these polka dots. Like, especially since the big birds are so big, you can really put a lot more pattern into them. Very cute. And also this one thing that I also started doing is, I don't know if you can really, if it's going to pick up on camera a little bit, is I took pink fabric marker, and just before I put the eyes down, just run it under the eyes so it just grabs the top of the fuzz and gives it just that hint of color, and it's so good. We love her. Name-wise for her, thinking Minnie or Millie or Dot. I don't know, she's just so cute, and I love her. I love her. I think she's one of my favorites. Don't tell the others. So this is the bird that is the proof of the pattern, and the pattern came out good, and we loved it. Oh, tail-wise, we've got the 3 feathers, and what I did for the mini, and I liked it so much that I'm doing it for the big bird as well, which I should really just go back and make a version for the regular bird that's like this too. But I've got a 2-piece. 3-tail feather bird. There's also a pattern piece for the flat piece, which I did sew it up and take pictures of it, but I didn't actually sew it onto the birds because I don't like the flat, like, you know what I mean, the little flat tail piece that the minis come with. No, I'm a 3-tail feather for life kind of person. With the tail feathers, I did 2 layers just to give it a little more thickness. And same thing with the wings, 2 layers just to make it a little more cuddly and fluffy. We love it. But so now that I have my pattern nailed down and it works, yay! I wanted to be able to offer the same variations that I did for the minis and the regular birds. A solid color bird, just your basic bird, and then a 6-stripe version. Which I love the 6-stripe version because you can choose different colors. You could do yellow, black, and make a bee, or you can combine things. When I made my non-binary flag bird, that's a 4-stripe bird. So I just combined the stripes and I was able to make a 4-stripe bird out of a 6-stripe bird. Easy peasy. If you have the pattern for it, you have lots of flexibility. So I wanted to make sure you have the 6-stripe pattern. So this is the next one I did. I went through and I made my pattern, I made the adjustments to the pattern, and then I did the pattern, and it all worked out, and it was great. And we have Roy G. Birdzilla. Love it so much. So cute. You're my favorite. Don't tell the others. Our Birdzilla. And then here's our regular size bird. These are so cute together. And then I love Minnie. It's the rainbow bird family. I love it. And in addition to offering the 6-stripe version of my bird pattern, I also have a sweater bird version that I've done for the minis and the regulars, and I love the sweater. When I made these little flower minis, which, I mean, come on, how cute are they? If you haven't seen my flower bird mini video where they're dancing, you need to go watch it right now because it's probably my favorite thing that I've done. Like video-wise, it's definitely my favorite stop motion video that I've done. It's so cute. I love it. You're my favorite. Don't tell the others. But when I made these, this is the sweater bird version of the minis as the base pattern, because that leaves you with a line of front loops around the neck. And then I used that line of front loops to add petals. And oh, it turned out so cute and I love it. So that's why I really want to make sure that I can offer you the solid, the sweater, and the 6-stripe bird, because it really just gives you so much freedom to do whatever it is that you want to do. Like, make the bird of your dreams. Go for it. You can do it. And when you do it, tag me, because I finally have an Instagram. Link in the description. I don't have much on it yet, and I don't think I'm very good at using it, but I have it. It's there. So go follow me there. We have a sweater bird. Everything here should be included in the pattern, how to do it, including the earmuffs, which are so cute. And we've got actual ribbing, actual ribbing on our sweater bird because she's big enough, she can take it. And got these little sleeves with the ribbing and this waist with the ribbing. It's just so freaking cute. I think what I'm gonna do with her is maybe embroider a snowflake. You can embroider a snowflake, you can like put an applique of like a Christmas tree or a reindeer or a little mushroom, whatever you want. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. Because these really are kind of just blank canvases that happen to be super adorable. But yeah, we've got also more left on her. So this is the sweater bird, and I love her so much, and she's so cute. And if you want to see like up against, I mean, this is tough competition because this is Ruby. Ruby was one of the 2023 Christmas birds, and she is the 2023 Christmas bird. Well, that's not true because Tinsel is also like neck and neck for me. But she's just the most fabulous thing I have ever seen. I love Ruby so much. She has not gotten boxed. It's July and it's so hot, and I still have a little place where I keep Ruby and some of her like similar fashioned little minis because they're just too cute to box. Also, imagine how hot she'd be in the attic. Like, it's July. No thank you. But yeah, this is Ruby, very cute. How does she look with our sweater bird? The answer is adorable. They are so cute. So these are my, well, not you, you're not my sweater bird. You're my favorite, don't tell the others. So this is my sweater bird, super cute and super customizable. I was thinking that'd be really fun to make a BIRDZILLA out of the sweater pattern and maybe do a brown on top and green on the bottom and just like carry on and not do the color change down here, just like I did for the minis, and add like yellow petals and have a sunflower. Wouldn't that be so cute to have a sunflower BIRDZILLA? That would be so cute. We do have one more bird. I mean, this is really like my paper pattern tester. I have, after finalizing all the pattern pieces, I printed them out and tested them. So this is my paper pattern testing bird. And she's so cute. We've got the cheeks again. We've got a full belly to bottom piece. So I'm not the cleanest of closers. No matter whose pattern I'm using, I'm never super happy with the way that things look as I'm closing them up. So I'm hiding it. We're just hiding it. It doesn't need to be pretty because we can hide it. When you're putting on your piece, especially for this full bird piece, you need to make sure that you are lining it up with the tail. So I like to draw a line up and over and then stick the piece on with the eyes and attach the eyes, and then wait until the bird is done and sewn up and then sew this on, because it's too hard to sew on an unstuffed bird, in my opinion. But we've got, it's so soft and cuddly with the fleece. I love it. The other fun thing about this pattern is because the pieces are bigger, you can use your sewing machine for a lot of it. I use the sewing machine for the beak to sew up this seam right here. I hand sewed this. There's a lot that still needs to be hand sewn, but I use the machine to sew the seam. I use the machine to sew my wings, and then like hand sewed them onto the bird. And then I use a sewing machine to sew feathers or put some detail on the feathers, and then hand sew it on. So there's a lot of like the prep work that you can do just with the sewing machine, and then hand sew it onto the bird where it goes. This bird is so, so cute, and I love you so much. You're my favorite. Don't tell the others. But we're not done with this bird. Something really cute is gonna happen to this bird. If you think you know what I'm going to do, let me know in the comments, because I'm so excited. So excited about this. Subscribe and like and tune in next week to see what kind of upgrade we give this beautiful red bird. See you next time.